Hey guys, so this is the second video to the Rags and Stubby compare and contrast essay lessons, and so let's start with our teaching point. Writers prepare to draft a paired passage extended response by studying the prompt to determine what the questions are asking. That's what we did in the first video. And now we're going to start with this second part, reading the text with a prompt lens, okay? And then we're going to move on to the next two parts of this teaching point in a later video. But right now, what we're trying to achieve is we're going to read the text with a prompt lens to help us mark up relevant parts of the text. So I'm going to start by reading the title of the text, Stubby the Dog, Unexpected Canine Hero. And of course I read the blurb, an adapted excerpt from an informational book by Molly Picardi. So we're getting the genre of the book. I always want to keep the genre in mind. I don't just want to focus on the prompt. I also want to focus on the genre itself. So I'm going to preview the text. Okay, I see there's lots of dates, there's a picture, a caption, more information, there's some dialogue going on. Okay, another picture. Kind of looks like narrative nonfiction to me, because there's a story of a dog that's a hero and it's informational. So it's kind of sounding to me like this is narrative nonfiction. So I'm going to go ahead and mark up narrative nonfiction. Okay, nonfiction, but it's narrative. All right, and then I want to go back to my prompt. And I know that I'm going to be reading this text with the question, why do the dogs and the soldiers come together in mind? And how is the way the dogs help the soldiers similar and different? So I want to remind myself what I'm reading for. I'm reading to find out, why did the dogs and the soldiers come together? So at the top of my text, I'm going to write that down to remind myself. Why does Stubby come together with the soldier? Whoever the soldier is, I don't know yet. That's my first one. And then the second one is, how is the way the dogs help the soldiers similar or different? Well, I don't know how it's going to be similar or different from the first text. I just want to find out, how did the dog help the soldier? Okay, so I'm going to write that down for myself. That's my second lens. Don't worry, I'm going to move this. How did the dog help the soldier? Or how did Stubby help the soldier? So as I'm reading, I'm going to be looking for these two questions. Why does a dog come together with the soldier? And so move that here. How did the dog help the soldier? And any time that there is a relevant text evidence to any of these questions, a relevant part of the text, I'm going to mark it up. So let's go ahead and get started on our reading. Let's begin. Stubby the Dog, Unexpected Canine Hero, and we know it's by Molly Picardi, an informational book. The year is 1917. All across Europe, many countries are at war. Okay, so I'm already seeing why he's a hero, and the soldier, right? There's a war going on. At the time, people had never experienced a war so big and so violent, and they began to call it the Great War. Today, we call it World War I. In 1917, the war had already been going on for 3 years, and thousands of people had died in the fighting. Far across the Atlantic, in a small city called Hartford, Connecticut, a new puppy was born. Oh, I wonder if that's Stubby. Okay. Who would have guessed that this small bit of fluff would one day become a celebrated World War I hero? Wow. So I'm noticing how the author's kind of hooking me in here, asking me a question. And it's saying that, who would have guessed, right, that this little bit of fluff, cute, right? I'm imagining a cute little fluffy dog is going to become a hero. Alrighty. So I already know where this dog is from, Hartford, Connecticut. The dog's being born. He's going to become a hero. Alright, let me continue reading. And the author asked me the question, who would have thought, right, that he would become a hero? So I'm guessing they're going to show me how the dog became a hero too. So let's continue reading. Again, I want to find out, why does Stubby come together with the soldier, and how did the dog help the soldier? So let's continue reading. Stubby was born in Connecticut during the height of World War I. He spent his puppy days wandering around Yale University looking for food or a friend to help him out. So he's going around looking for food or a friend to help him out? It's kind of letting me know that he had nowhere to go. He's just wandering around. The war meant many families had abandoned pets because it was hard to feed and care for them when men and women were serving overseas. Stubby had been abandoned. Aw, so he's just all alone. He was a stray dog without an owner or a place to call home. Alright, so he's a stray dog. He doesn't have a home. He's looking for a place to call home. The first question of the problem is, why does Stubby come together with the soldier? So I'm marking up these parts because it's letting me know already that he doesn't have a home. So I'm kind of thinking maybe he's going to find the soldiers. Who knows? Let's continue reading. He was a stray dog without an owner or a place to call home. In July of 1917, Stubby wandered onto a field at Yale where soldiers were training to help fight the war in Europe. Alright, am I finding out now why Stubby comes together with the soldiers? Yep, that part right there, right? It's kind of telling us how the soldier and Stubby came together. So let's underline that. In 1917, Stubby wandered onto a field where soldiers were training to help fight the war in Europe. Technically, dogs weren't allowed at army training, but the soldiers of the 26th Yankee Division made an exception because they knew Stubby would help keep the soldiers' spirits high with his friendly personality. Stubby quickly became a beloved mascot for the soldiers in the 26th Division. Okay, this part definitely going to be important. I'm going to mark it up. It's talking all about how Stubby came to be with the soldiers. Let's look at the picture. I see soldiers. Oh, look, Stubby. Stubby poses with members of the 26th Yankee Division at their training facility in New Haven, Connecticut in 1917. Cool, this part's going to be very important for that first question in the prompt. Alright, so what I want you to do now is go ahead and take out your writing notebook. Okay? In your writing notebook, I want you to just go ahead and make a big T-chart like this. Make sure it takes up the whole page. And label, the top part's going to be for Stubby. The bottom part's going to be for Rags. One side's going to be, why do the dogs and soldiers come together? The other side is, how is the way the dogs help the soldiers similar and different? Go ahead, and this is going to be our active engagement. Go ahead and write a couple of things that you're already finding out about why the dog and the soldiers come together in Stubby. And this should take you about 2 minutes to go ahead and do. You can pause the video and do it. I'm going to continue on to the next part. So, what we did today is we were preparing to draft a pair passage extended response. We studied the prompt to determine what the questions were asking us, and we started reading the text with the prompt lens in mind. Today we were trying to read the text with a prompt lens to help us mark up relevant parts of the text. Now, what you're going to do independently is going to continue reading the text on your own with the prompt questions as a lens. You're going to mark up the relevant parts of the text, just like you saw me do. Now you're going to go ahead and continue doing that on your own. Obviously, we already found the part of the text is relevant to the first question. You are now going to continue reading and find a part of the text is relevant to the second question. Continue gathering your notes in your writing notebook on the planning page, this planning page that you copied into your notebook. And if you are all done with everything, and you want to step up the rigor, you can begin reading and marking up Rags just like we started marking up Stubby together. Great work. Go ahead and continue this on your own.